ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ। ਸੋਰਠ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਪੰਜਵਾ। ਮਾਇਆ ਮੋਹ ਮਗਨ ਅੰਧਿਆਰੈ, ਦੇਵਨਹਾਰ ਨਾ ਜਾਣੈ। ਜੀਓ ਪਿੰਡ ਸਾਜ ਜਿਨ ਰਚਿਆ, ਬਲ ਆਪਣੋ ਕਰ ਮਾਨੈ। ਮਨ ਮੂੜੇ ਦੇਖ ਰਹਿਓ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਸੁਆਮੀ, ਜੋ ਕਿਛ ਕਰਹਿ ਸੋਈ ਸੋਈ ਜਾਣੈ। ਰਹਿ ਨਾ ਕਛੁਐ ਛਾਨੀ ਰਹਾਉ, ਜਿਹਵਾ ਸਵਾਦ ਲੋਭ ਮਦ ਮਾਤੋ। ਉਪਜੇ ਅਨੇਕ ਵਿਕਾਰਾ, ਬਹੁਤ ਜੋਨ ਭਰਮਤ ਦੁਖ ਪਾਇਆ। ਹਉ ਮੈਂ ਬੰਧਨ ਕੇ ਭਾਰਾ, ਦੇ ਕਿਵਾੜ ਅਨੇਕ ਪਰਦੇ ਮਹਿ। ਪਰਦਾਰਾ ਸੰਗ ਫਾਕੈ, ਚਿੱਤਰ ਗੁਪਤ ਜਬ ਲੇਖਾ ਮੰਗ ਹੈ। ਤਬ ਕੌਣ ਪਰਦਾ ਤੇਰਾ ਢਾਕੈ। ਦੀਨ ਦਿਆਲ ਪੂਰਨ ਦੁਖ ਭੰਜਨ, ਤੁਮ ਬਿਨ ਓਟ ਨਾ ਕਾਈ। ਕਾਢ ਲੇਹੋ ਸੰਸਾਰ ਸਾਗਰ ਮਹਿ, ਨਾਨਕ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਸ਼ਰਨਾਈ। ਦੀਨ ਦਿਆਲ ਪੂਰਨ ਦੁਖ ਭੰਜਨ, ਤੁਮ ਬਿਨ ਓਟ ਨਾ ਕਾਈ। ਕਾਢ ਲੇਹੋ ਸੰਸਾਰ ਸਾਗਰ ਮਹਿ, ਨਾਨਕ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਸ਼ਰਨਾਈ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, today's ਪਾਵਨ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ from ਸੱਚਖੰਡ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿਮੰਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ is on Ang 616, 1616 ਅੰਗ ਉੱਪਰ। It's blessed to us by ਧੰਨ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ, ਆਪਣੇ ਪੰਜਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ व fifth Guru Sahiban in Sorat'h Rag. Today Guru Arjan Dev Ji Paatshah Ji saying to us, Maya moh magan andhiyara. Maya, this illusion. Maya, that what is impermanent. Maya, that is constantly changing. But we end up living in this illusion of thinking that it's real, that it's permanent, that it's going to remain, and we hold on to it. We become attached to it. Maya, moh, Paatshah Ji saying, having that attachment to this Maya. Maya, moh, magan. Paatshah Ji saying you become magan, you become intoxicated in this illusion. Magan andhiyara. Just like somebody might drink some alcohol and it intoxicates them. Sangat Ji, in this same way, Paatshah Ji is saying that this Maya, this illusion has intoxicated us in the same way as we would get intoxicated if consumed a drug. Kende Maya moh magan andhiyara. And that could be anything for anyone. For somebody, that could be their child, where they become so intoxicated in the attachment of that child. For somebody, it could become their body. It could become their youth, their looks, the way they look. They become so intoxicated by it. Kende man, maaf karna, Maya moh magan andhiyara. Paatshah is saying you've become blind. You're so ignorant to not realizing what the truth is. Kende andhiyara, not knowing that how can you hold on to something? How can you hold on to something that is constantly changing and moving? It will never remain constant. So you're setting yourself up to fall. You're setting yourself up to suffer. ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਦੇਵਨਹਾਰ ਨਾ ਜਾਣੈ। ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੋਹ ਉਹ ਆ, attachment is that when we are afraid of something changing, when we are afraid of something moving and not remaining as what it is. Kende Paatshah ji kende Devanhar na jana. Kende but you know the Devanhar? Sangat ji, Devanhar, the giver, the one that is behind everything, the one that has actually created all of this, the one that has blessed all of this. Kende Devanhar na jana. But the one that has given us that child, the jyot, the light that sits inside of that child, the one that has made it possible for somebody to even conceive, the one that is behind all of that, without that one's power, nothing is possible. Paatshah is saying, but Devanhar na jane, but you don't know that one. But you only know the Daat. Paatshah saying, Daat pyari, visraya daatara. Paatshah is saying that the Daat, the gift, becomes so beloved to you. Kende visraya daatara, but you have forgotten the daatara, the giver, the one that is behind all these gifts that we are becoming so attached to. Jio pind saaj jin rachya. Paatshah saying, Jio, the one that gave you life. Pind, the one that gave you this body. Saaj, that made all of this, that created, that made your body. Even if you think about that now, who is it that is behind continuing to make this body? Who is it, the one that was behind from as when we were a little baby, we were a little child, consuming food, and that food was becoming a part of us? Who is it? What intelligence is there working behind the scenes that is making that very piece of food that is going into our body, and then it's converting it into this, into what we see? Who is it that has the ability to make us grow from consuming food? Jio pind saaj jin rachya, the one that is created, made, and that is constantly making even now. Kende bal apno kar mane. And then we ended up thinking that it's my power and my strength. Bal means power, or we can translate it to strength. Apno kar mane. Ended up thinking it's all me. How can we think that it's me, Sangat ji? And then Guru Paatshah ji continue to say, then they kende man moode, kende oh my foolish mind, kende dekh rahe ho Prabh Swami, kende Swami, that master, that Vaheguru ji Prabhu, kende dekh rahe ho, is seeing everything. Do you think that anything can escape from that one? Jo kich kar hai, everything that we do. Remember, even if we're sitting there and we've got a particular thought towards somebody, and that thought could be a hateful thought, kende jo kich kar hai, but no matter what we are doing, even if we are sitting there and we are doing that, because jo kich kar hai means doing. Sangat ji, doing means it's referring to action. Action meaning what Paatshah ji referred to as karam. Or when somebody says that inne keho ja karma kar betha, what has he ended up doing? So karam just means doing. When from the Sanskrit translation, because in Arabic and in Farsi, the word karma means bakshish, means blessing or grace. But karam means doing. It's about Paatshah ji saying jo kich kar hai, whatever you are doing. Remember, even if we are sitting there and we hold a thought inside of our mind towards somebody, they could be sitting right in front of us and we've got a thought about them. We don't often actually make that link that even that is a doing. I'm doing something. Even that is a karam. Kende jo kich kar hai, Paatshah kende soi jana. But every little thing that we are doing, from it being our thought, from our emotion, from even sitting, even this is doing. If somebody might ask, oh, what are you doing? And you say nothing. It's not possible to ever be doing nothing. Because even sitting, even lying, even sleeping, all of that is something. It's never nothing. All of that is a form of doing. It's a karam. And all of that is going to bring its own consequence. Sangat ji paach kinde jo kuch kar hai soi Sangat ji twice soi everything, any little minute little thing. Sangat ji, whatever food we put into our mouth, do you think that one doesn't know what food it is? What do I mean by that? Meaning that I might eat something that's not good for my body. I might eat something that food is going to react a certain way to my body. That food is going to contribute to increasing my cholesterol levels, whatever it might be. But I've gone off by just the taste. And I've gone off by just nahin koi nahi kuch nahi hunda. It's alright, nothing's going to happen. But Sangat ji, we might say nothing's going to happen, but soi jana hai. But that one knows everything. You cannot escape from that one. That every little piece of food that I put into this body, that one knows. And that one is the one that is behind of what is going to come of that food. Not me. So what power have I got? That one is watching everything. Nowadays, Sangat ji, we get into all of this that, that we're being watched. Google is watching everything that we're doing. Everything that we like on our social medias, we're being watched no matter what website you go on. Some people talk about, we've been watched by whoever, whatever, and this way, in that way. Some of us get so caught up in that. Some people have lived their whole life trying to prove these things. I'm not saying whether they're true or they're not. That's not my focus, Sangat ji. The focus is that, are we being watched? Absolutely we are. But we're being watched by something that is much greater than any Google out there. We're being watched than something that is much greater than anything that you might be referring to as Illuminati or whatever it might be. There's that one that is constantly watching us. He's watching our thoughts. He's watching our emotions. He's watching what goes into our mouth. He's watching what comes out of our mouth. What words. He's watching what goes into these eyes. He's watching what comes through these ears. What this sense of touch is touching. Nothing can be escaped from that one. Sangat ji Paat ji saying here that jo kuch kar hai soi jana hai, that intelligence that is working behind everything knows everything. Rahe na kachue chhani. They're saying that pata Sangat ji ਆਪਾਂ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਛਾਣਦੇ ਆ, ਕੋਈ ਆਟਾ ਛਾਣਦਾ ਆ, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਛਾਨਣਾ ਭਾਵ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ when we sieve something. Somebody gets grain and sieves that grain to make sure there is nothing there in it, so that there's pure grain that comes through on the other side of that chanani, of that sieve. But pyareo, there's nothing that can get through. There's nothing that can pass the chanani, that sieve of Vaheguru ji. Nothing will get through that will escape. Everything will be sat in that chanani. Like normally we sieve something and there's a few bits left. When we sieve like cha, we put all the masala in it. ਆਪਾਂ ਮਸਾਲੇ ਵਾਲੀ ਚਾਹ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ, ਵਿੱਚ ਇਲਾਇਚੀ ਸੱਟਦੇ ਆ, ਵੱਡੀ ਇਲਾਇਚੀ, ਛੋਟੀ ਇਲਾਇਚੀ, ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੀ ਕੁਝ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ। ਦੇਖੋ ਸਾਰਾ ਮਸਾਲਾ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਸੌਂਫ ਕੋਈ ਪਾਉਂਦਾ ਆ, ਕੋਈ ਕੁਝ ਪਾਉਂਦਾ ਆ, ਕੋਈ ਲੌਂਗ ਪਾਉਂਦਾ ਆ। ਸੋ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਕੀ, ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹ ਚਾਹ ਨੂੰ ਰਹਿਣ ਕੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਐਨ ਕਚੁੰਝਰ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ ਬੁਰਾ ਹਾਲ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ, ਉਸ ਚਾਹ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੱਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ। ਪਰ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਇਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਭਾਵ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਲਾਇਚੀ ਸੀਗੀ, ਉਹਦੀ ਛਿੱਲੜ ਸੀਗੀ, ਉਹ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਉੱਤੇ ਛਾਨਣੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ। ਤੇ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚਾਹ ਆ ਉਹ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਨਿਕਲ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ। ਪਰ ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਛਾਨਣੀ ਨੇ ਨਾ, ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਿਕਲ ਸਕਦਾ, ਉਹ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਉੱਤੇ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਣਾ ਆ। ਭਾਵ ਉਹਦੀਆਂ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀਆਂ ਆ, ਉਹਦੀਆਂ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਕਦੀ ਭੁੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਾਂਦੀਆਂ। ਪਿਆਰਿਓ, that Vaheguru ji, we can basically, what I just said, I'm not going to translate it all. Nothing escapes Vaheguru ji. Nothing. Have we ever been, how consciously are we living? Guru asks us all the time, are you asleep or are you awake? Because if we're awake, we'll be conscious. And I was writing something this morning, and then I decided to share it on my social media platforms, just contemplating this morning, thinking that how conscious are we? Do we realize that every thought that we have has its own level of vibration? Every thought is vibrating at a certain frequency, and that vibration, that frequency is going out into the universe. And we think that thought's not doing anything. But the bigger than that, the more conscious we are, Vaheguru Ji's made it. Because what are our thoughts? Our thoughts will affect our emotions. Our thoughts will affect our feelings. And then those feelings and emotions, they have even a greater level of energy that is formed. But we've got to understand, the more conscious we become, the more we start to live in Vaheguru Ji, that the thoughts are just merely there based on our memory. Everything that is in our memory is based off what we have taken in through these senses. And there's many thoughts that sometimes will just randomly come up. They might be triggered by something. And it's so multi-complex that how a thought may be triggered, but that thought might come into our conscious mind. That's not worded correctly. A memory might come up as a thought, and a thought is produced in our conscious, the conscious part of our brain. So Sangaji, when that comes up, even though a thought is produced in the conscious part of our brain and not from our subconscious, it comes from the subconscious, but it's there in the conscious mind. But, Pyareo, there's a consciousness that is greater than all of that. There's a consciousness that can be watching even that, what comes into the conscious mind. And then, once we are conscious of it, and something I share that I do personally, if a thought comes that is not needed, it's just a random memory that's come up, and often it could be quite a negative memory. Something that makes us, maybe where someone has said something to us, done something to us, and that comes forth. And then something I use myself is, I use this technique where sometimes I'll actually imagine like a bat. So I just imagine just knocking it away and just going donk, and it's gone. Or the other thing sometimes I do is I'll have a little word with it. We don't realize that we can actually go to a separate level of consciousness away from that thought, because the thought isn't our true self, and we can actually speak to it and say, oh, actually no thank you, you're not needed, you're just something that's just popped up from my memory. And I know your plan. You want to take me on a trip and try and affect my emotions and spoil my day, and could actually, it's got the ability to actually spoil my entire life. So I'll just say, oh, no thanks. I understand who you are. You just popped up from my memory. But thank you very much. Basically, say Fateh, let it go. So these things, they work. And the more and more conscious we become of these things. So Sache Paatshah Ji here is saying to us, Rehna kachu hai chani. Because remember, nothing can escape Vaheguru Ji. So if we allow that to sit there dormant, and we start just dwelling on that thought, because then there will be a consequence from it, because it cannot escape Vaheguru Ji. then if that negative thought is sitting there towards somebody, mainu idda onne karti, idda kidda kar sakda hai, you know, it's constantly sitting there thinking, I can't believe they did this to me, why did they do that to me, you watch now, main bhi hun idda hi onnu kehna hai, I'm going to say this to them, they should not have said that to me. All of that cannot be escaped from Vaheguru Ji. That's going to have a consequence. ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਛਾਣਿਆ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਛਾਨਣੀ ਇੰਨੀ ਬਰੀਕ ਆ, ਉਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਉੱਤੇ ਬਹਿ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਸਿਰਫ is so fine that everything sits on top, nothing escapes ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ. ਰਹਾਓ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਕਈ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਦੁਹਰਾਉਣ ਦੀਆਂ ਲੋੜ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ. ਤੇ such things ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, that there is repetition needed to repeat the same thing again and again, because what I'm finding is people are becoming proud of this. You know, people say things like, my attention span, it's become so low, like it's like I can't watch a video for more than 5 minutes. Shabash wali gal nahi, it's not something to give yourself a pat on the back for. We should be saying, we should be saying, what's going on? What's happening? I'm losing my patience, my tolerance, because we've got into this culture of quick, read that post, watch that, quick, watch that 2 minutes video. Why is it that we watch 2-minute videos? Because we want to watch the next one and the next one. It's not because we haven't got time. The people that say that I haven't got time, that is the energy they are putting out there, and they won't be able to create and make time, because that's the energy that they are forming. It's not that we haven't got time, it's because of the way we've started to function and program. We've become programmed in that way. So it's not that I've only got time to watch the 2-minute video. It's that my mind has started working in such a way that I need to know this, I need to watch that, and maybe I'll get it from there, maybe I'll do this. So we watch that one, and then that one, and then that one, and then that one. It's to try and break that, Sangat Ji. It's because these things that we are sharing are so that they can become us. They can go deep inside of us. So we can change a shift the way we are looking at something. That's why Pataji says Rahao. I'm actually explaining Rahao here. Rahao means don't move on yet. It's saying let it sink in. Keep telling yourself again and again that Vaheguru Ji is such a sieve, because that's what Guru Sahib Ji is saying is the Rahao Pankti. It's such a sieve that nothing can escape from Vaheguru Ji. So everything will have an effect. So that thought that you've got racing around in your head cannot escape Vaheguru Ji. It's going to create a certain level of energy, and it's going to affect your emotion. It's going to go out there. You're going to now start attracting those type of things to you. If you think you've got no time, that's what you will bring to yourself, no time. You'll become this crazy, busy fool. These things might be in depth, but I feel that this is the level that's needed to make a shift from inside. Rahao Jehva Swad. Pacha Ji saying, Kende Jehva Swad, caught up in the taste of this tongue. We're consuming things that cannot escape that intelligence of Vaheguru Ji that will have a certain effect on our whole body and mind, because the food affects mind as well. Because there's tamogun food, there's food, Sangat Ji, that has very low energy about it, heavy energy, and that will affect our mind, where our mind will feel lethargic, and then that lethargicness will go onto our body as well, and it's all come from because we've eaten something that's got a certain level of energy about it. And that could happen because of the way somebody has made it, with the thoughts they have put in it. and just it could be that it's just deep fried or whatever, it's just a really fatty food, and it just the way it is. It might have been sat in the fridge for 2 days and we've reheated it about 2 times, and then we're thinking, pata nahi ki ho gaya yaar. And then we're thinking, I don't know, I feel all tired. Khada kiya. It's tamogun. So it's one of the makeup of this Maya. This Maya is split up into 3 different qualities. And there's certain things that if we consume, they've got a certain level of energy which will actually bring our mind down to a lower frequency and our whole body. So Pachi saying kende Jehva swad, but because we're not conscious, we're not living consciously, what we do is we just go off, meri rasna par oh mang diya, but my taste wants it. Jehva swad, lob mad mato. Maharaj is saying that lob, you just now, your life has become all about greed. Oh, I just want more of this, I want more of that. Mad, Pachaji saying that you've become intoxicated and lob, so greedy. Isn't 500 likes enough? Oh, je kete 10 ਹੋਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨਾ ਤਾਂ 10 ਹੋਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਣ ਤਾਂ ਫੇਰ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ? If somebody's saying I've got 500 likes, but if I was to get 10 more, then what? Then what will happen? Pyareo, mad mato, intoxicated, not even realizing how these things are controlling us. Piti pehiya, and nasha pita pehaya mayada. Uppaje anek bekara, and Pachi saying that greed will will give birth, uppaje anek countless of bekara, of sins, paap. Kende bahut jon parmat dukh paya. Pachi saying kende bahut jon. So many different lives you've been traveling and going through. Kende parmat, but you've still not found that peace. You've been wandering around lost. Kende dukh paya. You've been suffering for so many janams. Sangaji, but now it's time to evolve. Now it's time to break out of these patterns that we've been in. Greed has ruined us in the past. This tongue controlling us has ruined us in the past. But now, it's enough. Home bandhan ke para. Pachi saying that it's kept us in this bandhan para, this heavy bondage. Meaning that this bondage is weighing me down. What's weighing me down? Kene home, this ego. Ego, identify myself with these false identities for so many lives now. Thinking I am body, thinking I am thought. Sangaji, the more and more consciously you live, you'll realize, oh, thought's not me. It's just a bundle of memory just going round and round. De kivad, Pachi saying that you go to that extent that you end up de kivad. Kivad, Sangaji, means that you put a door before you. Sangaji, de kivad, and then kende, meaning that you shut the door, anek parde mah, you try and hide yourself, putting many different types of parde. Parde, Sangaji, means literally curtains, meaning you do whatever you can to try and escape and hide so that your own wife doesn't find out, or the other person's partner doesn't find out, or that nobody gets to know at the Gurdwara. Nobody gets to find out from the Sangat. That nobody else finds out. So you do so many things to try and hide from what? What are you up to? What are you doing? Kende parde meh pardara sang fakka. Kende you're having this, you're indulging in these pleasures with the pardara, with other women. Those other women meaning that you're cheating on your own partner, or you're not even married yet and you're going off with different women, and women that are married, they're already married as well. And sang pakka, and sang means with, par dara, par means others, dara means women, the istri. Kende sang with them, what are you doing? Kende Fateh, you're actually indulging in different sexual activities with them. Pacha kende chittar gupat jab lekha manga hai. Kende, but you know when chittar gupat, lekha mang, when your accounts are asked for from chittar and gupat, meaning from your chittar, meaning that what you are doing physical. It's like you can imagine this. There's no actual little angel sitting there or anything like that. But for our mind, so we can create these pictures to help us. So whatever you chittar sangaji comes from the word painting. So that meaning something physical. Wherever meaning that you can paint and something that can be seen. Whatever you are doing physically with these hands, whatever you are doing with these feet, wherever you are going with these feet, whatever you are touching with these hands, with your body, whatever can be heard that you are speaking out there and can be heard by everyone else. So for our mind, if we can't reach that level of consciousness that we're being watched, so sometimes just like a kid, what we can do is we can imagine it in our mind that there's one little angel sitting here and is watching what this hand is touching and is actually then looking at where these feet are going. Everything that we are doing outside, listening to what words are coming out of this mouth. But Gopata means the hidden one. But there's a hidden little angel as well sitting inside. So Sangaji, just to make sure that you don't get confused, there's not these actual little angels there like that. It's all Vaheguru. But whatever process we need to use to become more conscious, and then you could imagine within your mind that there's a hidden there's one that's doing CID. So he's not out there outright in uniform. There's one inside that is capturing all my thoughts, all of my emotions. What is going on inside of me that cannot be painted. So kende chittar gupat jab lekha manga hai. Kende, but when they ask for my account, tab kaun parda tera taka. Pachaji saying, then who will be able to then cover you up then? When that account is asked. And when is that account asked? That account is being asked constantly. Meaning that we aren't getting away with it. The consequences are playing out with us, even though we may not be conscious of it. When it will really hit us and when we'll really know about it is when we leave this body, and then where we have to travel to next will be based on those accounts. Then who will cover you up? I might try my best now to try and hide what I do and not let anyone know what's inside of my head going on. But when I leave this body, everything will be on display. Then what curtain am I gonna get then to hide? Everything's gonna be in show, meaning that energy that I have created from my actions are gonna be my force that are pushing me, that are carrying me to my next body. And then I won't have any power. Then we'll realize, oh my God, what have I been doing? I thought it was all me. I thought I was in control. I've got no control now. But having no control means you haven't got control over what is happening from what you have done yourself. And now the account, what it means that the account's being asked, what are you going to do then? The account is, as you are traveling to your next destination, you will realize your account, where it's taking you. Sangat Ji, don't think I'm trying to scare anyone. I'm just literally translating the Guru's truth. This is reality. Sangat Ji, I was listening to somebody yesterday, I think he's born in Italy, Italian, who was born just with the level of consciousness where he actually had access, and that memory was, he was still conscious to that memory of his past lives. Not just like as in a few lives, he could still capture very concisely what had happened hundreds of thousands of years ago on this planet, what it was all like, and had memory of different planets. So that might sound a bit, but that's not outside of what the Guru is saying to us. Didn't Guru just tell us in this, so many lives? The truth is, we're just on a journey. We've got caught up in this little life, but we've been going in circles for hundreds of thousands of years, millions of years. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Paach Ji tell us in their Bani, we've experienced already being stones, mountains, trees, leaves. Khair. Kende Deen Dayal Sangaji, it's now time to do a benti. Now it's time to surrender before that great power, that Vaheguru, and become Deen and say, whoa, that somebody's watching. And I've got to sing that song that I haven't got that power, that where I can say, well, nah, no thanks. I don't want that consequence. I don't want that reaction. I don't want that effect that's come from my actions. I'll go over there, thank you. No, it's not going to work then. Time to do Ardas, Sangat Ji. Paach kende Deen Dayal. Kende, you are compassionate. We are able to experience your compassion. You are merciful upon those that are Deen, that become meek. Deen Dayal Pooran Dukh Panjan. You destroy their complete and entire sufferings. Panjan means you smash their sufferings apart. When you see that somebody has become Deen, then you take over. Kende tum bin ot na kai. I have no other support other than yours. Who else can I take support from? Because nobody else is in control. It's you. It's you that is watching all the time. So I take your support. Kende kaad leho sansar sagar mah. Kende, take me out of this ocean of attachment that is making me drown. Kaad leho sansar sagar mein nanak prabh sharanai. That I can come and live in your sanctuary, that you are taking care of me. Sangat Ji, the more and more open we become from inside, the more and more receptive we become from inside, then that one will start to speak to us through everything. Then Sangat Ji, you'll even be able to experience, when you look at a piece of food, you'll be conscious of the energy that food holds. We talk about Suniya, listening. Sangat Ji will have the ability to start listening to that one in everything. Then that apple will speak to us and we'll be able to hear it. This isn't outside of Gurbani. Paach Ji is saying that everything is speaking. They're saying that even a leaf, Paach Ji saying that is speaking. Kende trepavadam heap sur nar asur net ban trin kahat. Kende, even a trin, even a blade of grass is speaking. Have we got the ears to listen to it? Have we got the ears to know what is my body asking for and needs? And can I hear what that piece of food in front of me is saying to me? That is that the right frequency that I need to put into this body? When we become open from inside, the concept of listening, of sunya, will go to another level. We'll be able to hear everything. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.